Welcome to the JayGravesReport, College Football Weekly Preview, Week 11. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Previewing the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. Now, I'm going to keep it real or all the way 100, whichever comes first. This weekend, it's only 3 ball games that we need to talk about. Ain't no other 2, bruh, because the top 3 ball games, we got 2 on Thursday and 1 on Saturday night. So let's get right to it. Let's go down to the Big 12. Number 10, Oklahoma, travels down I-35 to Waco, Texas, to play the number 6 Baylor Bears. Now, Baylor comes into this game with its highest ranking in 60 years. They rank number 6. They got the number 1 offense in the country, averaging 63 points a game, putting up more than 718 yards of total offense every week. Here's the problem, bruh. They ain't played nobody. I tell boys all the time, stop looking at the stats and stop looking at the records and look at who these boys are playing. Baylor has played 7 cupcakes. That's why they 7-0. Look at the schedule, bruh. They played Wofford. I didn't even know they had a football team. Buffalo, Louisiana Monroe, Kansas State, and Iowa State. You're supposed to be 7-0, putting up 63 points a game. They'll put up more than 70 points in 4 ball games. But guess who they put the 70 points up on? Come on, bruh. Now, here's the problem. Oklahoma comes into this ball game with a defense that only gives up 18 points a game, so something's got to give. Oklahoma's got better athletes all across the field. Now, they got a Doug quarterback, because Doug Belldozer can't throw a ball over his shoulder, but I think they got enough players on the outside. They got enough players running the ball, playing defense, etc., to beat these boys at Baylor. So we're going to go with the OU Sooners this weekend at Baylor to knock these boys out the unbeaten category so we can move on and just have the rest of the doggone football season so we have to talk about the Baylor Bears. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 3. The Parliament Funkadelic goes to Palo Alto to play the number 5 Stanford Cardinal. Now remember, last year, Stanford went up to Eugene and beat these boys 17-14 in overtime. Now, here's the problem. Marcus Mariota is the real deal. He's got more than 2,200 yards in the air, another 20 touchdowns to go with it. He's put up more than 587 yards on the ground and another 9 touchdowns to go with that. Can Stanford's 3-4 defense slow this boy down? They've been physical the last few weeks, but they was dumb a few weeks ago playing Utah. How in the world you go out there and play Utah, looking past these boys, and slipped up, got snake bit? Now, can they beat the Parliament Funkadelic at the crib? I think they can, bruh. And this is why. It's November. Boys fall apart in November. Every year, you got all these undefeated teams show up in November, and every week they start falling apart. You got Florida State, Ohio State, the Parliament Funkadelic, and Alabama still sitting on top, undefeated. Boys about to start falling, and this weekend, the Parliament Funkadelic goes down again. Now, let's move on to the next ball game. Number 13, LSU, goes down to Tuscaloosa to play the number 1 team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, do I think that Alabama is the best team in the country? Sure I do. I think they got the best athletes. I think they got the best coach. But you got dumb out there like Paul Feinbaum that keep telling me that Ohio State haven't played anybody, therefore they shouldn't be able to play for the national championship because their schedule is dumb. Now, do I agree with them that the schedule is dumb? Sure it is. But Alabama's schedule is just as dumb, and nobody's talking about it. Let me break it down for you. Alabama played Doug Tech, who showed up not to be any good. They beat Texas A&M, who's already got 2 losses, Colorado State, Ole Miss, Georgia State. That's a commuter campus, bruh. Let's keep that real or all the way 100. That's like I don't even know what that's like, bro. That's a commuter campus. They probably got 1 or 2 dorms at this point. Now, they played Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tennessee. Now, they're going to show up and play LSU. After they play LSU, they got Ole Miss and Chattanooga, with Auburn looming in the background waiting for these boys in the Iron Bowl. Everybody forgetting about Auburn. They only lost 1 ball game. We'll talk about that in a few weeks. But this weekend, I think Alabama wins this game, even though you got Zach Mettenberg has been putting in work this year. They can throw the ball. You got big hands Odell Beckham with more than 1,000 yards, and Jarvis Landry comes in with almost 900 yards receiving. They can give Alabama problems in the secondary because Alabama's secondary is dull. But I don't think that Zach Mettenberger is going to step up to the challenge in Tuscaloosa. That's why I got to go with Alabama to win this ball game. It's your man Jay Graves Report from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport and holla at your